Since we have this little workbench area, I'm gonna put like tools up there, mainly like the AN line fittings and all that kind of stuff. I'm gonna just sit up there so I have quick access to the tools on the tool shelf. Got our wiring stuff up here with the Deutsch connectors. We got our caliper tools, some taps, and then I think our spring compressor, and then we've got some fuel stuff. And that really all came off of that lower shelf there. Don't need a whole lot of up there. Down here, we got a riv nut tool, and behind it, I've got all the riv nuts for when needed. Now that I got the cabinet filled up over there, it's time to move our attention back over to this corner. I got to get all this stuff kind of pulled out. At the same time, I got to put some stuff back in to kind of replace some of the space in the garage. So we're going to see what we stack up here. I kind of want to stack tires. I want to put the ramps up here, race ramps, stack some tires along the wall. I might see if I can hang the quick jacks up. It's kind of one of those things where if I could stack them up, I would, because there's a ledge. Really nothing to do but get to it. Now, the further Chris and I tear everything down, the closer we're getting to just not having space for certain things. But this last piece of the shelf here was pretty simple to take out, and then I had to like Sawzall it from the workbench area since I somehow built them to be together. Then over here, I kind of had no choice but to just move this stuff over so I could move the RX-7. So really none of this was going anywhere final. It was just kind of a temporary move, temporary cleanup to see if we could get some more space here. So finally got the wheels stacked up there. Ended up putting the board back up here temporarily. I don't think it's going to stay there. Then over here, I was able to move the welder. I got this freaking Escalade bumper, which is, you know, everyone keeps saying they're going to come get it, but they're not getting it. But got the welder, got the bottle back on it. That's I've been meaning to do that for a while at this point. Got a bunch of stuff moved off the front of the RX-7, so I'm going to go ahead and move that now. Then I can get working on the shelf over here. For the record, it is a little harder than you think to push the car over with these rollers, but I ended up getting it over. Gotta get some OSB on here, take this stuff off. So none of the studs on that wall over there are really perfect spacing, so I had to trim this OSB sheet a little bit just to get to the closest stud. With a pretty simple cut there, that way I could get it on before I started working on the shelf. I did have to sling it over the back of the B2200, which was kind of a goofy process here, but got it up on the wall, got a couple screws in it here so it wouldn't come down. It's going to get secured in more when I run the other screws through for the each individual shelf there, but it's nice and secure at this point. I'm going to get the rest of this stuff off, get that out of the way. Then we'll head back over. I'll just start cutting out those triangle shelves and see how many we work with. I'm not sure what I want to go with as far as height yet. I was thinking 1 foot, having some 1 foot, having some, maybe I have some 8 inches. The main thing I want to avoid is I want like my height and what I can see, probably up to like 7 foot. So if you haven't seen the last video, we're just taking these shelves off of the existing system, marking these 2 foot increments on them, and just cutting 2 triangle shelves out each per. So just kind of went through, did this, kept cutting them through. We had these decent amount of leftover from this, but there was really no other way to get more shelves out of it. So it worked out actually to be like a perfect number. I've worked up a sweat doing this, even with the heat on, but got these cut out now. So we got our shelves. We've got 8 of them right now. Then I'm gonna get some boards over here, start cutting our 2x4s that support these. So because on this side, we don't have the limitation of that like conduit for the electrical stuff, I can just go ahead and cut these and basically make an L frame out of them. So pretty simple, just making the same measurements over and over, cutting them. And the board lengths that we had from the existing shelves were pretty decent for this. So nice and easy process. Now we've cut our long and short boards, which we're going to use to make this little L bracket, or I don't know what to call it, the support, right? It's the same thing we did kind of to make those, but in this case, I'm making them just kind of loosely putting 2 screws in here. That way I don't have to sit there and try to like line up them height-wise. So we can just put them in a corner and then just kind of square them up and go from there. But I'm going to make these, then I have to cut the horizontals that are going to be the brace supports. These little chintzy Harbor Freight stands just barely were rigid enough for me to keep this straight while I was doing it, but all worked out well. Now we got our braces here. That's them kind of all pre-assembled. Back over here, cut that lower board right here so we can start putting the shelf together. I had to make sure that I didn't cut it wrong. When I did this on the other side, I measured incorrectly, so made sure the measurement was right this time. And even though the measurement was right, I still actually had to hammer this wall over. It had swollen a bit or was damaged from when the previous owner installed this on the house. And so had to use a little block there, hammer it over so I could get that relatively square. And then we just started getting these things screwed in there, using the blocks to stack them up height-wise, and just getting a couple screws in here, not going overboard, since Chris judged me for going overboard last time. All right, I want to talk really quick because I'm not sure what I'm doing right now, but we've got like a 1'2" shelf down here. We have a 1'3" shelf height using a 1 foot plug. Then we use two 8.5-inch plugs, and that results in a 1 foot shelf height for these two shelves. Because you can see, like, you know, arm height wise, I'm kind of right where I'm going to be. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start using this 5-inch plug to make the next couple shelves. That way we're getting our most that we can out of each shelf. Pulled these old hooks out and then just kind of kept going. Kept getting the different blocks in there, going for the shorter spacing on these ones, which you'll see later I think was a good idea. So here's what we have so far. So you can see we've got our taller shelf, the mid-height shelves, and then our short shelves. This will all be braced through here. I'm a little skeptical. I think what I might want to do is after this shelf, I'm going to brace it heading up so it can hold any additional weight I might put on the higher ones. I don't want to send it all down into this one. But like these will be great for like spray paint cans, any kind of shorter can, or even like oil jugs like that. Here we can have like the larger 5-quart ones, anything that's, you know, a foot tall, anything that's 8.5 inches tall or something like that, and then anything that's a little over a foot tall down there. So I feel like this is a good use of space. I could definitely do like one more here and then probably another 8-inch one, and then after that, you know, it's just too tall. I'll need a step ladder for it. But for this stuff, I think this is gonna be really good. I confidently think that this is going to hold everything that's up there. In the meantime, we've got this stuff stacked up over here. We've got our wheels and stuff. Definitely don't think that's where it's going to stay. Once this center cabinet can go away and then that shelf is out of the way, I'll have a bit of a better idea of where I'm going to put everything against the wall. It's there right now just because that's the available space I had. So we're going to finish up this shelf, get everything on there, which means we can disassemble the other one, and we'll get some more space back. All right, we are back out here. It is freezing. I didn't wear a hoodie for some reason. I did take a measurement of the existing boards we have left on the shelf area, and they're about 80 inches long. So I'm just gonna try to make it a no cut. That way I basically just have an 80-inch cabinet here. So in order to do that, I've got to make a couple more of these braces. Probably at least 2. To make the 80 inches work, and then we'll kind of call that like how we're going to build the main cabinet, and then whatever's above that will be whatever's above that. I think we'll kind of separate the two, so to speak. But I'm glad I'm stopping it here because you can even see it, like me reaching this is a little bit difficult, right? So that is definitely a reasonable height for the last shelf at this point, because I'm not going to be able to really do anything other than put something on top of it. Now we've got this sucker completely built up. I like the height. It's kind of the last height that I can get to and reach and see what I'm doing. And then we got our header up here, so we won't put anything heavier above that. We can. Now, the thing I wanted to talk about. So putting these like little brace boards in, because really at the end of the day, all you want to do is you want to get this load starting from that shelf. Any load that comes down, we want to transfer into the ground here, which we can do pretty easily. So we can hold a lot of weight if we brace this up. And then just brace it directly to the concrete floor. Now, the problem is, I'm not entirely sure how to like frame those boards in, because when I did on the other side, it was just one level. Where here, you have to go every other. So I'll show you an example. Like we want these to stay straight. So if I put one in here, I can screw it in to this one at the bottom, right? But when it gets to the top, I'm gonna wanna have to screw in, right, this one down to the top, because these have some bow and flex to them. But if I do that, and I put some screws in here, and then I have this sitting like this, how am I gonna put another one in above it right? See what I'm saying? The only thing I can think is you could leave it at like an angle and put one in at each level, which would be kind of weird, but you would still have like an overlap. So like you would do that, and then this one you would spin this way, but like then I have no idea if they would end up straight doing it like that. All right, so before we do that, this is what I need. I'm gonna make these cuts so I have them to kind of play around with. Then I got little pups inside because they're cold, but we'll get back to that. Okay, we got our blocks cut. Let's take them over there, stack them up. This kind of baffles me a little bit. Apparently I've run out of my little screws. I don't know. I'm gonna take these. I'm not gonna screw any of this down yet because honestly I just need to see if this is gonna work theoretically. But yeah, so the idea being, get this sucker in here and we would screw that one down like in the top. We're gonna put a mark line on these where the 2 foot is, just so we get our center line. And then the idea is one through here and then rotate, which will allow me to put one through the top into the next one. So give it a shot. After all that going back and forth on this, I ended up putting them in, and weirdly enough, when I went through and attached everything, it seemed like half of them worked, but it did the job enough that it was not wasn't a problem. Everything's secure. It did not work exactly the way I thought it was going to, and I feel like somewhere in this line I just switched up the direction that I put the screws in. There's our last block, gonna go up in the top there. Come up here. Oh, jeez. Oh boy. Oh boy. Okay, it's not as easy as I thought it was going to be to get up here. Okie dokie. We got it all hooked up now. I'm happy with it. Like I said, that's pretty much the peak of what I can reach. I'll be able to still see. So we'll have that all set up here. Stuff can go on top. If I want to build another thing up there, I can. But for now, start putting stuff on this. Now I don't know why, but this was kind of fun to me, and I spent probably too much time doing this, but it was like I was filling out my own little general store of consumable things and paint and all the solvents and, you know, all the fun garage stuff. All right, we got our first board here off of that shelf that will be notching. I think I'm gonna put 3 hinges on this one. We'll get it notched, marked off. That's the right height. I already checked that. We'll have to get a notch out here, and then we'll have our first door for that. All right, we got this one up now. Still have a little bit on the concrete over there. Probably could have held up a little bit. We'll just open and close it a lot. Now we gotta pull another board off. Okay, now we got both mounted up here, so pretty simple. Same thing as before, we're gonna get our magnets on here. I only have 2 left. I'm not sure if that'll be enough for these, but we'll give it a shot. The other thing is they kind of hang out a little bit. You can see there's like a little bit of a natural drop out there. So hoping if I put them right about here, it'll kind of pull up that slack. Oh, good. Can't get it open now. Ooh. There we go. Cool. I genuinely do not know why this is so satisfying. It's just like a scrap cabinet, but man, it really cleans everything up. So we're almost there. I'm kind of like halfway there. So we have this built. Got the other one over here. That's done in the last episode. So now it really becomes just a matter of tearing down everything that's left and moving the stairs, which obviously we'll need some help with to do the stairs, but pretty close. Got to get the tool chest set up so that I can get things on top of my tool chest. Like I said here, the plan is to put this Husky one, if possible, on top of this Harbor Freight one, and then to put the vise kind of on the other side of it, so we'll still have a use of a vise. Don't know where that's going to go yet, and then all this stuff kind of is going to find a place. It looks like a lot, but it really isn't a whole lot when it comes to filling that out, and then this is just a mess from tearing down the shelves. So still got to take the rest of the stuff off those, but not a whole lot up there. It's going to fit on the other storage shelf anyways. Now we're officially finished up. Got our handle on there. Still got to trim down there, but oh well. Still works. Can open it up. Anything we need? I like it.